Hey, how's it going, all you lovely people? It's Door Shutter coming back to you with a brand new episode of Craftoria, and today we are going to quickly get into upgrading these four machines here. So I've got some tier installers. These aren't too cheap to make because they just, stack on top of each other with how expensive they get. So we just used a few diamonds here, and we've got three different tier installers. There is a fourth, but I do not have enough resources to make these right now, so we're just going to go until we get elite tier. So we're just going to shift, right click on all of these machines here with each of these upgrades, and that is going to speed up our machines quite a lot here, which will be fantastic. And I do believe our power should support this. It may not actually support this. Looks like we're tanking. Let me quickly cut off power here real quick. And let me grab a couple more Thermo Generators. I know this episode we will be getting into power, getting these actually upgraded. But for right now, let me get some stuff sorted out, and I'll be right back. Okay, real quick before I do anything else, I was gonna work on those generators, but I actually quickly want to grab a magnet. This will just make everything a little bit easier because I keep dropping stuff behind areas and I can't get back there. So I just want to quickly craft that, get that thrown into our slot, and then I do believe, what is I thought the keybind was H, but it is not. So category, simple, magnets, it is H, it's just overwritten. So let's do... Can I do that button? There we go. That'll work. Alright, so now let me get those thermo generators worried about, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, so we're going to work on getting power set up, because I think this is going to be the best way to get these generators to be producing more overall. So we're going to run some pipes down here. We're going to put an energy cell here, and we're going to run some power energy cables so we can actually connect these to the energizing orb that we're going to look at here in a second. So I don't know actually if this is going to reach, but we're going to try it here, and if I need to push it down further, I can. So these are energizing rods. These are not that expensive. They are not that complicated to make. So I just went ahead and made the basic tier, of course, because I cannot make any tier higher because we do need what we're about to get into, which is the hardened steel. So, oh, that's interesting. I forgot that it's like mechanism stuff. I think this has probably changed then. If it's using HDPE sheets and stuff, it's definitely changed. I'll have to look into that because that's not something we're doing. I won't use them even, but yeah, it's just weird. Okay. All right, so the energizing orb itself, of course, is not expensive either. You got glass, dielectric casings, and some dielectric rods that are horizontal. So let's put this down. Let's grab... I guess I do need to go upstairs. This is also a basement that I made off camera, by the way. We're just going to grab some gold, and we're going to grab some iron. So gold, iron, and I need a set of pipes that I can actually turn on and off with redstone. And I don't think this is actually an upgrade that can do that. Let's look up a chest here real quick. I want to see if this offers the capability that I need. It does not. And yes, it does, right there. I'm just blind. For some reason was like, I defaulted to this. Yes, it does. And I think the other tiers may too, the lower tiers, but that's okay. We'll just go with what we have. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this a little bit differently than I normally would, because I want to. I genuinely want to try something different. So we toss in these two items. You can see that we hit a power of 2. So now we've got an item in here. It's a power of 1. So I don't know if that is based off item count. It is based off item count. Well, that's not what I'm thinking then. Actually, hold on. I don't want to do it with redstone. I actually want to do it with something else. Let me quickly craft up a couple things from Integrated Dynamics. Let's see. So, Integrated Dynamics. I should have a redstone writer, which I'm going to pull. Some logic cable. And does this? I don't think this is what I need. Inventory reader might be better. And then we do have a logic programmer. And I also need a integrated dynamics logic. There you go, variable store. Had to think of the name for that one. Let's give this a go. I've actually never tried this. So if I put this down here, for example, and attach logic cable, because of course you need to do that. So let's see. If I look for this item here, right? I just want to put this in here. So there is a list of items. I guess I need some variable cards, don't I? Wireless. Wireless is coming very soon. That is for sure. Variable cards, perfect. And then if we put in this, but it didn't actually even register that there was an item in there, right? Because this is blank. Okay, so there's slot item 1 and there's slot item 2. So that wouldn't work. And this is not detecting items, which is kind of interesting. So if I actually put in this, let me actually disable these for a second. Because I don't want hardened steel right now, or energized steel. I just want to look at the variables that this offputs. So then slot 2, I bet, would be iron. And then once this is complete, so let's put an energizing rod back down. Would that be slot 1? I think that'd be... Well, see, that's interesting, because now it's reading off that there is energized steel in there. But it's not doing that when we do slot item. So is this in slot 0? So I think that's the reason why. So basically, slot 1 and 2, and then maybe like 3 and 4, because I think nitro... nitro crystals are several items. So this would be slot 1, slot 2, slot 3, slot 4, and this would be slot 0. So that's how this is reading. So this items thing is looking for what's in slot 0, which this will work if we wanted to go this route. So we could actually say, hey, if there is this item in slot 0, pull it out. So then we can go into the logic programmer and we can look for item, right? We're going to put a variable card here and we're going to say this. So energized steel plus that, and we're going to say equals equals. If these two things are equal, then we'll want to send out a redstone signal that will then pull the item out, right? So we can do variable store, we can do another logic cable, and then we could pull out the redstone writer. That's what I'm thinking of. So then, of course, we'll also want to do an item pipe, and we'll want to do the redstone signal. So this is on when powered. That is perfect. And then just place it like that. Put the variable card in the top slot. That should be golden, right? We also could just set a filter here for energized steel, but I want to make sure that this is better for the future. And I think this one will be. So let's then grab a chest. So now if we were to put down this and this, that should be sending out energy, right? Why are you not doing anything? So let's try one more thing here. Let's put this into equals, no NBT equals, and try that rather than the one we currently have. So we're going to put this in here. We're going to put that one over there. So that did function. So I think there's just some NBT cross data that's not really needed. But that should be good. And yes, of course, we could just put a filter on this. Actually, I would actually need to get a higher tier, which I'm not going to spend the resources on doing that. So this is actually a good method overall. So what I could also do is I could go grab another redstone writer and put an inverted card in here, right? Because there is the not operator or the bang operator, whatever you want to call it, where we could actually put that card, basically duplicate it and put that card in here again, and that would allow for us to say, hey, if there's no redstone signal, we can push items in. But we'll give this one a test because it's going to be a bit of an experiment. Because I actually don't know how well this one will work. And I actually do need a pipe upgrade as well. Soon. Wireless. I'm so tired of doing this, like, back and forth. And I know you guys are probably tired of me doing it as well. So actually, I think for this one, we're going to write this a little bit differently. So I basically want to say, if the inventory is empty, which it should be, right? Because if we do something like this, for example, this should register as true. Okay, it does not register as true. That's a problem. Inventory not empty. Inventory not empty. Inventory empty. Inventory empty. Okay, so that one does work. I completely misread something for some reason. So what we'll do is we're going to grab a pipe wrench. Where's my pipe wrench? There it is. We're going to actually need to grab a barrel. All right, so I've got the barrel, and we're going to put the card in here. We're going to say on when powered, and then we're going to grab a redstone writer, grab this cable, and then put this card in here, and that means we should be golden. So my one issue is if an item gets put in there quickly, can the second item send? It cannot. So that's not going to work the way I'm thinking. So I think I would want to grab these two, say equals no NBT, and just grab a second card. And then do... This would not be foolproof, by the way, because if I have anything else, this is going to cause an issue. But for right now, we're only doing the hardened tier, and this should work. But if I throw stacks in here, it's going to cause a whole lot of problems. All right, let me figure out something here. I really don't want to get into laser IO for this because that's just really generic, but I think I don't have any other options to send individual items into something like this, right? If I had the ability to send in multiple or like one item at a time per stack, I think that would be fantastic, but I don't think I do. We do have modular routers that technically could do that. But I don't know if we would be able to do one, pick up the next, one, pick up the next kind of thing. Okay, let's bite the bullet. Let's grab Laser IO, which could make this much simpler overall, but I'm probably not going to switch out the integrated dynamics portion because I wanted to kind of just try some things. I really am not trying to use Laser IO for everything, but it is one of the best options for so many things, just in general, right? So let's get these logic chips that I just made smelted up, and once those are smelted up, we will then be able to make the laser nodes, the cards, and so we need item cards, laser node, and the counting filter are the two things that we need. So let me get that, and I'll be right back. All right, laser IO. I've got the laser node. We're going to go on the up direction, item card on the side direction here, which is south, this other item card. We're going to do extract. Actually, no, this is the insert side. And then the counting filter, and we're going to say 1 and 1. And then that should be good. And then here, we're just going to do extract. So that should allow for us to be good. And then, of course, if we were to need anything else, all we got to do is basically just add a... Actually, this is not that expandable, by the way. I just realized that that's not that expandable, because you'd have to make basically a new set of these for each, and there's no way to just have this be independent. So we'll probably pull out the integrated dynamic system. I just wanted to test some things and see kind of how it would function. And it functions pretty well for like the very beginning tier. So if you set this up for like each individual tier, this would be fine. But doing one for everything would not work out at the end of the day. So just some stuff to look at, right? I wanted to experiment around, not too, hurt that this may not work the best. It's what it is, right? So let's get these things smacked down so we go a little bit quicker. And we will then just do transfer amount higher. And that should allow for this to kind of get cruising. And that'll give us some steel. So let me get the stuff we need fully out of this, right? Which is, of course, the energized steel, the hardened capacitors, and I think there's a couple other things. So, yeah, just the hardened capacitors and energized steel in here. And this is the recipe for these. So that won't be too terrible. I just need to get them, and we'll replace all of our current thermo generators in the hope that those are good enough to actually get everything going. If they are not, we can look at the blazing crystal blocks, which are fantastic. But we do need to get blazing crystals, which would be 1-to-1 blaze rods or 4-to-1 on blazing crystals. So that is technically one blaze rod per operation either way you spin it. So and I think we have 5 generators, don't we? 3, 6, 7 generators. And that would be a lot of blaze rods. That would be in total what? So I said 7 generators times 9, 63 blaze rods. I think that's the amount. Well, I mean, that also would improve our power ability quite a bit. If you don't know, that is actually here, the block of blazing crystals, which is what I'm talking about. So the blazing crystals convert down into this, and then of course that would give you a better heat source, which is this is the best heat source in the game, and also non-flammable. So that's something else. So that might be a solution to what we're about to do. Let me actually get to looking into that. Maybe taking out a few blazes and then getting those in here. What I'll do is I will just take this out for right now. I'm going to take out this whole pipe because I think it's just going to pull across. Oh, no, it's out of it. Okay. So let me get that going. Let me get that stuff sorted out. I'm going to just quickly do this on camera, though, which is upgrade this portion and then go back downstairs and reconnect this. And we will just get rid of the integrated dynamics because this is going to make things easier. I wasn't really thinking of going to the next tier, but I think it's going to be beneficial no matter what. So we'll just throw the energized steel in there. And now if we were to have golden iron, it would pull down, pull over, pull out immediately. So let's just scrap this. But the idea that we actually saw how this machine functions a little bit more, in my opinion, is actually pretty cool. I did not know how Powa's machine worked. The Energizing Orb worked, and how it does slot 1 through 5, or 1 through, what is it actually? Orb. Because technically there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is 1 through 6, and then 0 is your output. That's just really cool. I don't know. I just find stuff like that fascinating to see how mod authors make these things and kind of, how they think this through. And it's just interesting. Interesting. So I've set down some of the block of blazing crystals under a couple of these thermo generators. I just want to show you the difference between these. So there's 100. So this is the lava, right? So this is your kind of base set. 60 FE a tick. With the blazing crystals, you get 168 FE a tick because the machine is now running, or the generator is now running at 280% rather than 100. So, and of course, these are still basics as well. So if I grab this one, and I were to work on upgrading it, and that gives us a hardened generator. So let's just check. Let me actually make sure I get out my pipe wrench here. So this gives us 280 FE a tick. This one's 168, and this is 60. And honestly, we could even just grab, just because we're testing. So with the magma block, which is your which is one of your other heat sources, let's just pull this out. So this is kind of one of the cheaper alternatives. And even with this, you're doing 48 FE a tick, which is not bad for like beginner. Just kind of wanted to see what the actual difference is there. Let's get that place back down. Check this one out here. Oop, I think this one's bugged out a little bit. Okay, so I think there's currently a bug where it's not updating the amounts because its energy is full. So let's quickly grab a pipe. Real fast. See if we can get this energy drained. So that does 80 FE a tick. So that's basically like you're using a little bit higher on this. Okay. I'm just curious. So let me get the rest of these upgraded. Just kind of wanted to experiment a little bit. I'm going to do that a little bit more this season. This, series where we actually kind of take some time and look at things a little bit more in depth. Because I think it's just interesting to kind of break down the numbers, right? So I will be back here in a minute. We have gotten 5 generators placed of the hard variety out of the 10 for our digital miner setup here. And we've also got blazing crystals, which is fantastic for all of these. So we don't have to worry about lava. This is much quicker to place down. I've actually got this thing where the power is no problem anymore. Especially because now we have the hardened tier and the over efficiency. That allows for us to definitely have more power than we can need. But overall, we are cruising. We're getting a whole bunch of different ores now, by the way, rather than just the few that I put in there. That is because I need some of those ores for modern industrialization, and I did not want to forget about those. So the other thing I've done is I've also gotten the generators down here. I've also gotten the generators down here switched over to hardened tier with a block of blazing crystal. And of course, doing 280, all of this stuff is cruising, it is cranking out, which is fantastic. And of course, we are processing a lot of ores now, which is awesome to see as well. Also, I did forget to mention, I did this actually a few episodes ago without mentioning it between episodes, of course. We've got a controller access point over here. And the reason is because I've actually expanded the range enough to be including on this drawer. And so we actually have access to the wood and charcoal and saplings and all of that stuff. And that allows for me to place down this controller access point, link it to the controller down there, and then basically do the exact same thing we were doing with the storage controller for these drawers. Then so this basically allows for us to do the exact same thing we were doing previously, but just with that drawer controller wherever it is down there. And that is fantastic. So definitely some good stuff. I did just forget to mention it. It's been working perfectly. I just, spaced on some things, right? So yeah, this drawer controller linking to there. I kind of forgot where the controller was for a second. And you can, of course, see that if we look up like oak logs, we have 9,000 in here, which is fantastic. So just wanted to mention that because I don't think I did at any point. But overall, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay awesome, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.